સોશિયલ મીડિયા પટેલ પ્રહલાદભાઈ.
Finished the spectacle of the Mahakumbh. The same UP government who was unable to count the number of deaths in the Kumbh stampedes and give the country a number was magically able to insist that precisely 63 crore people had bathed in the river. You keep saying democracy, democracy, democracy. The Honorable Prime Minister is talking to podcasts all over the world talking about freedom to criticize and democracy and democratic processes. We welcome it. But for a democracy to function, it is vital that its electoral processes be above board and above question. We find it very hard to understand why this government's taxation policy continues to widen the stark divide between the two Indias. A Kuber's India for the elite and the privileged, and another, Vishwakarma's India, for the masses who are bearing the brunt of this government's economic mismanagement. We have just finished the spectacle of the Mahakumbh, with faith drawing millions to the holy Sangam at Prayag. The government is patting itself on its back for organizing the grandest spectacle that humankind has ever seen. It is a small concern that the same UP government who was unable to count the number of deaths in the Kumbh stampedes and give the country a number was magically able to insist that precisely 63 crore people had bathed in the river. Now 63 crores is the entire adult population of India, which statistically implies that every single one of us sitting here has bathed in the Kumbh. I certainly haven't bathed in the Kumbh. Most of us sitting around me have not bathed in the Kumbh. So, but this mirage continues. This great mirage is continuing. Similarly, much like the great taxation mirage that this government has created, the finance bill mentions a health and education cess of 4% on income tax. No problem. Everyone's happy to pay this if it goes in the right way. You're taking our money, fine. The Kothari Commission in 1966 had said that 6% of India's GDP must be spent on education. Successive national education policies, including NEP 2020, insisted 6% of GDP must be spent on education. What are we spending today? Around 4.5%. What is China spending? 6.2%. This government's own national health policy of 2017 said that public health must account for 2.5% of GDP. What is this government spending today in the last budget? 1.4%, 1.94%. We must be the only country with a declining spending in health. The last few years, we have come down from 2% to 1.94%. So, Madam Finance Minister, wherever you are, I hope you're listening to me. Taxpayers don't mind paying extra cess for health and education, but at least spend it. Give the country what it deserves. You keep saying democracy, democracy, democracy. The Honorable Prime Minister is talking to podcasts all over the world talking about freedom to criticize and democracy and democratic processes. We welcome it. But for a democracy to function, it is vital that its electoral processes be above board and above question. The legislative department in the law ministry is the nodal department which controls all spending for elections, for polls, for appointment for the poll members. The Honorable Finance Minister this year allocated 300 crores for voter ID cards, allocated 600 crores for election expenses, allocated 19 crores for EVM machines. But here we have an election commission that is refusing to give 100% VVPAT paper trails. It is refusing to make 17C forms public. It is refusing to give us new additions and deletions to the voter list. It is refusing to explain how duplicate epic cards are being issued in Murshidabad and in Gujarat. So spend taxpayers' money, but use it in the right way. We need some answers. More than 17.5 lakh Indians have acquired foreign citizenship of another country in the past decade. An estimated $21,300 millionaires left India in the past 3 years alone. तुमसे दूर जाने की ख्वाहिश नहीं, पर तुम्हारी शक की डर से बहुत डर लगता है. तुमसे दूर जाने की ख्वाहिश नहीं, पर तुम्हारी शक की नजर से बहुत डर लगता है. This is what people are telling this government. Is the government trying to bring back electoral bonds in other shape or form? The bonds were declared unconstitutional in February 24 by the Supreme Court. And yet, in the new Income Tax Bill 25, Schedule 8, provisions relating to the electoral bonds are mentioned. is this legislative oversight? In which case, very shoddy work on your part. And if it's not oversight, then it shows that you're keeping the road open so some kind of back entry to your fiction system. This is very clear. Electoral bond data shows that companies with negative profits donated 434 crores to the BJP. 41 companies under investigation donated 2,500 crores to the BJP. 30 companies facing investigation donated 335 crores. Madam Finance Minister, the CBDT in your hand is an engine to spur India's growth through transparent and progressive taxation. Please do not turn it into an agency like the ED and the CBI. Coming back to the finance bill, it is nothing but a testament to this government's flawed economic vision. I oppose this bill because it taxes the wealth creators, ignores, I've got 10 seconds, madam, ignores the poor and empowers the government with unchecked powers of intrusion. India deserves better.